Trish A out in Richboro. New customer. Scope of work, she's going to have 3 line items, so check the notes for which one she accepts. Front yard's going to be a little bit of mulch, weeding, a little bit of bush trimming. Out back will be around her deck, just kind of like a cleanup of the beds. I'll walk over there next. And then out back, the biggest portion of it will be kind of just like an overgrowth yard cleanup type of deal. Long term, she wants grass to be back here, but I told her probably the best bet would be start with a round 1, get it all jacked down here in the fall, then come back in the spring. We'll do it again, assess what it looks like, and then do topsoil and seeding then. So yeah, so kind of straightforward. I walked through everywhere, had my picture app out. I didn't see any poison ivy. There's a little tiny bit in the corner up there, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I didn't see any poison ivy back here. Now, as you get into it, you keep an eye. She said she's never seen the poison ivy in here or anything like that. It used to be an old garden, she said, from the previous homeowners. So there's kind of like some random plants here and there. Anyway, what I would do is come in, want it to look as clean slate as possible. All of this is hers. Her property line goes right to like the wooden pole here, a couple feet before it. So all this is her. So pretty straightforward. Now it is a main road, skinny driveway, so you'll probably want to back down the driveway, I would imagine. So it is a bit of a walk to get to the front yard, just an FYI. But anyway, just come in, brush cutter, string trimmer, just hack a shack, go to town. This tall weed thing, cut that down, get that out of here. Yeah, just gonna go nuts, try to get it looking as clean slate as possible, because like I said, we want to come back in the spring, do it again, but a minor version of it, and then do topsoil and seeding. So yeah, we really want to try to get it down the best we can. You'll come across like there's some like branches, like sticks and stuff in here, so really try to haul away all the junk that you can, cut all this out and get it all out of here. Take a good blow after, because it looks like there's just a lot of leaves that have like decomposed in here as well. So you want to try to blow them out and get it nice and cleaned up, and then basically go all the way down. I don't know what plant this is. Well, there's like a Rose of Sharon here. I guess a bunch of Rose of Sharons, but you can just cut all them out, cut all them down. Again, bunch of leaves and debris to blow out here. But her property goes to the fence line there, and you can tell where it goes to there. So whole area cleared out. The one thing too, you'll see there's bricks under all this growth there. So obviously we're not going to do anything with that. They said they'll relocate it at another time, but if we can do our best to cut all the growth around it so that they can access it, would be good. So that's it for the backyard, or the backyard, for the 1 line item. Coming up here around her deck, no mulch, just wants to basically cut out and clear out of all the growth and all the weeds in here. So cut all this out. There's an azalea bush in here. They want to keep it, but there is like a vine weed trying to choke it out. So if we can try to clear out all the weeds that we can so that can come back in the spring for, would be good. But just clear all this out. All this can go, clean slate it, bust it all out, blow it out real good, clean it up. The only spot, typically I come out and spray in advance, but because this area is out in Richboro, I don't think I'll come out unless I'm in the area for some reason. The only spot I notice in the whole property, a little bit of poison ivy, is right here. This 3-leaf here. There's a small section here. So I would say, if I don't come out and spray it, you'll see it in the notes if I do or don't, and you'll see if it's brown. You probably can get away with just being real careful right here. You know, put gloves on. Use like a string trimmer, get it onto a tarp, put it in a trash can, try to avoid contact with it. But it's just this little section right here. You might be okay trying to work through it without me spraying. But I'll put a note if I do come out. The rest looks good. All in here, so there is Pachysandra. Actually just noticing this now. Probably want to keep that. But all these like weedy spokes coming up, jack all them out. All the big leafy hostas obviously leave. But any other weeds like that weed you can yank out. The weeds over here, just kind of clean up this corner, blow out these leaves, kind of clean it up, and then lightly trim this back a little bit, especially in the area where it's kind of encroaching onto her deck. Just kind of snip that back a little bit, kind of cut it off the deck. Over here might be fine, unless she says she wants that cut back too, but I would say like the walkway maybe cut a little bit, and then most of it that's hanging over the deck, cut that. And then this tall one that's over the walkway, cut that. So that's it for the back around the deck. And then the last part in the front will be around this tree. Just bust all this out, clear all that growth out, fresh mulch there. Up here, this bed, can lightly prune everything back a little bit, like lightly trim it away from the house. You won't be able to get a ton of mulch in there, but you can sprinkle a little bit here and there. There's like ground covering. I would just take a string trimmer and kind of edge it, give it a clean like cut edge. There is a couple weeds in here you can yank out. This one's a little tricky. There's an azalea and you got this like weed vine growing up through it, kind of choking it out. So do your best to try to get in there and yank that out the best you can. At minimum, trim it and cut this stuff out of here. But if you can, before you cut it, try to like reach in and yank some of that stuff out. Yeah, and then yank out the weeds here. I would take a string trimmer, kind of edge out all this growth, lightly prune that, lightly prune that, lightly prune the azalea here. All these weeds, pull out a ton of weeds right here, like grassy weeds by the rose bush. So do your best to try to clean that out. Again, not a ton of mulch in this area. If you can find little pockets where, you know, maybe once you clear out these weeds, it might be a little bare. If you want to toss some mulch, that's cool. You know, kind of cut this back off her walkway a little bit. I would cut that back off of her front door a little bit. I would cut that back. 6-foot ladder should be fine. It's kind of getting close to like her gutter and the roof line. And then out in this part, just clean slate all this, clear it all out. Nothing stays, all goes. Move the pots out to clear it out if you want. And then a little bit of fresh mulch. And that's it.